Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a daily coin analysis. Today I'm going to be reviewing Zilliqa. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not an expert. Do your own research. Zil is a coin that is a little older relative to some of the other altcoins, and it launched in the spring of 2018, and it did extremely well. This is the Zil BTC pair, and this was kind of the last little run, the last altcoin run in 2018 before everything really dumped. And you can basically see this is like the last spike, and then just tons and tons of pain all throughout 2018. I mean, there were some small moves in the Q4 of 2018, as there normally are for this one, but then it was just a bearish retest and kept going lower. And yeah, this is like 2018, like the end of 2018 and 2019 were just really painful experiences for altcoin traders. I remember losing lots of money during these times. Clearly a bearish trend overall. You had this big blow off top here in May of 2018, and then just lots and lots of pain. So what did we see overall? Starting here in the summer of 2019, accumulation always looks so obvious in hindsight, but it's always a little harder to see in real time when you're actually trading it. For instance, this pattern right here was an accumulation pattern, and overall this altcoin Zil just made a rounded bottom. This is kind of a rounded bottom reversal where price really consolidated from August of 2019 all the way to May of 2020. So almost an entire year where this just really didn't do a whole lot. I mean, you can fib it out with just the 1, 5, and 0. There's a lot of different ways you can do this, but generally speaking, when altcoins, specifically alt BTC pairs, are doing this type of price action, your opportunity cost for your coins is going to be quite high, because alt BTC pairs usually either go to the moon, like we saw in 2018 right here, or they dump like hell, which is what we saw all throughout 2019. And there's also this ranging price action that we didn't really see a whole lot of for many altcoin pairs. Coins like Dogecoin actually has a lot of these consolidation patterns in general, but many other altcoins were either just pump huge or dump huge. You see a lot more V-shaped reversals for alt BTC pairs, and this ranging price action that you saw from 2019 to 2020 was an accumulation pattern for Zil, and then price really started to run all throughout the summer of 2020, and this was decentralized finance, where decentralized finance kind of led the way. Massive buy volume, which is exactly what you want to see. And I remember actually, you can compare this to May 2020, and I remember looking at this, I'm like thinking, oh, like, altcoins are really going to start to move, but really it was just a bearish retest. This volume wasn't really sustainable. And for May 2020 though, this buy volume again, it came and then price pulled back heavily. But what we saw for this pump for May and June of 2020 was that this wick up took out many sellers in this area here. And this area around 300 Satoshis, this was an area that got poked at several times throughout 2019, the early parts of 2019, that is. And this wick up took out more of those sellers. And if you've seen many of my other videos, you know that support and resistance gets weaker and weaker the more times it's tapped. And this, again, is an example of that. So price pulled back. I remember actually trading this in the summer of 2020, I think around May. And me and a few other of my friends were all in this. Rookie and DTC trades were all in Zilliqa, and it was great. Price pulled back huge, back down to 120. And then this started to moon again in late 2020. And again, this is a simple SR flip from this swing low here, established all the way back in March of 2018. This area has held as resistance. Generally speaking, these wicks provide interesting support and resistance levels. And you could see again, like later, several months later, this area was great support in the later parts of 2018. So what are we seeing right now? We're seeing this overall sell liquidity that was poked at several times in 2019, around 300 Satoshis. This has been tapped over and over and over again. And as I said before, these orders are getting filled and consumed, and there's not going to be many sellers left in this area. Overall, this chart looks extremely good to me. Not only speaking, this is just like a general SR flip from this area, but when you see price coming up on a level with higher lows, exactly what this is doing, this is very bullish in general. And the context is also important as well. Like, I thought this was bullish back in 2019. I was a newer trader. I didn't really understand the overall context of the chart. But this context right here in 2019, like spring of 2019, is much different than the context right now we're seeing in the spring of 2021, where we saw lots of bullish activity, strong volume follow-up, and the overall market environment is just much more bullish than it was in 2019. So what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that once 350 Satoshis gets broken, and you can see this overall on the volume profile too, this area is generally, this is just like a lot of resistance all throughout the 200 and 300 Satoshis area. And once this area gets tapped, I don't really see much resistance up until kind of like the 500 Satoshis area. You can see on volume profile, there's just kind of like a little gap. So generally speaking, price will want to fill that in. And it wouldn't surprise me to see something like this. Like we see like fast move up to 500, and then we see a little grind down. Now, it's important to understand as well with regards to alt BTC pairs that I personally find it unlikely that many of these old altcoins will get to these old levels. Like, if this gets up to 2,000 Satoshis, that's going to be pretty impressive. And, you know, if it goes even higher up to this 2,500 level, that's even better. I find it unlikely that these coins will get up to these old alt BTC highs. Note, I'm saying alt BTC, I'm not saying alt USD pairs. Just because the market environment is much, much different than it is today, you know, versus how it was in 2018. There's a lot more altcoins on the market. There's a lot more, just like different newer coins, newer technology. That's not to say that Zilliqa is like bad or anything. I actually don't even really know a whole lot about the fundamentals. But from a technical analysis perspective, I find it unlikely that these will get up to the old BTC highs. There are going to be exceptions, of course. But I find it unlikely for the vast majority of these to reach their old alt BTC highs. But generally, overall, what I'm trying to say here is that I expect this to have good upside in the short term. This area around 350 looks like it's thinning out and getting weaker as resistance, and I think it's likely that this goes up to 500. After that, the other levels are going to be this 650 area. You could see it's tapped back in March of 2018, September 2018, and again in early 2019. And really, if it can break this level, then the next level up is going to be about 1,000 sats. And again, I'm sure there's going to be a very big volume gap. It's hard to see here, but this entire area just is like totally void of much trading activity. So this will maybe want to get filled out, but again, I'm not sure. This is like pretty strong in general. If it were to get up to this point, it would need to be a perfect environment for this to happen. But overall, yeah, I'm still very bullish on Zilliqa in the short term. Let's briefly look at the ZIL BTC or the USD pair. This is a pair that didn't come as early as the first one. I mean, what's there to say? This is just like incredibly bullish on the USD pair. It's if you're going to be looking at charts on Zill, you should definitely look at the BTC pair, because the BTC pair has a lot more price history in general. And yeah, overall, this is just like an incredibly bullish chart. What you're seeing right here, I remember actually buying Zill in late January, because the entire altcoin market was really pumping hard, and I was looking at coins that were accumulating. This is like bullish accumulation, especially given the context of the entire market environment, where you see coins just if you see coins ranging and they aren't incredibly bullish, like in the sense that you see something like Filecoin or whatever, you know, other coins that just like go from 0 to 100 in a very short amount of time. When you see coins doing something like this in an environment that's very bullish, that usually means that these coins are next to run. So I remember making tweets about it in January and early February, where I said that these are the types of coins that I'm targeting. I did buy this. I did sell it pretty quickly after, just as a scalp. I would have made a lot more money had I just held my position, but you know, is what it is. What you're seeing price action wise with something like Zill is really just drive up either consolidation, like how we saw back in January of 2021, drive up, and then you're seeing kind of deeper pullbacks now, but the market structure is still entirely bullish. You're still seeing higher highs and higher lows. I don't personally see a sign of reversal quite yet. What you're looking for is like a big blow off top with high and then high sell volume preceding that after, or you're looking for a distribution pattern where it basically just hangs out there for several days with huge wicks on both ends of the spectrum, and that's usually a good sign of distribution. Whereas something like accumulation, like right here you saw in January, they're more tight. They're tighter candles in general, and there's not as much volatility. Whereas for something like a market top, you almost always see distribution happening across several days with like big wicks. This BTC chart isn't very good. This is okay right here as an example, but alt BTC pairs usually reverse a little quicker than alt USD pairs. But this was a distribution pattern. I mean, you see like huge volatility, big wicks in both directions, and yeah, price just coming down. But for the Zill USDT pair, I mean, this is still extremely bullish to me. And yeah, this is just, it looks really good in general. There's not a sign of reversal quite yet, in my opinion. Given the entire market context as well, I think this is going to move up. I believe that altcoins will have a second run in April and May. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and your support means so much. Thank you so much.